little bit later. My name is Tim Rockmans. I'm an assistant professor at the College of Business at Zayed University here based in Dubai. And I welcome you to the session on economic and political risk management in an interconnected world. We started a little bit late. We will try and get the program slightly back on schedule. But as you can see, we have a large and distinguished panel who will want to share the insights with us. The seat next to me is still empty. It was intended for Phyllis Kandie to give the keynote speech. We'll need to see if and when she joins us. But if she doesn't, we will just keep our format to a panel discussion. It's my pleasure to introduce the panel members. On my immediate left, we have Yasser Al-Sharif. He is Chief Executive and Board Member of the Manafia Group based in Saudi Arabia. On his left, we have Mr. Mahendra Siragar, Chairman of the Investment Coordinating Board with BKPM based in Indonesia. Then we have Mr. Massimo Facchioni. He's the CEO of Euler Hermes in the GCC countries and also Egypt, I believe. 6 GCC countries plus Egypt. Then we have Ambassador Adam Pirelli. He's the Vice Chairman of Mercury based in Washington, D.C. And I would like to add Ambassador Pirelli, one of his previous roles was the U.S. Ambassador in Bahrain. Then we have Mr. Miftah Ismail. He is from the Prime Minister's Office, Board of Investment in Pakistan, where he serves as Special Assistant to the Prime Minister. Then we have Engineer Mustafa Bello. He's Chairman of Invest in Northern Nigeria Limited. And all the way on my left, we have Mr. Andreas Dressler, who is Managing Director of company Terrain based in Berlin, Germany. Welcome everybody, and thank you so much for coming. The format for the session will be standard panel session, I would call it. I will ask each panel member first one question for everybody, and then maybe questions specific to some of you. And as soon as we can, we'll open it to the audience for your questions. So one question that I would like to ask each one of you, and please answer it from your own perspectives, is if we think about foreign direct investment, what are some of the major economic and political risk factors that you see perhaps in the area or region that you're most familiar with? And from your perspective, what do you think that investors can actually do to recognize and manage these risks? With your permission, I'll start with you, Yasser, and then we'll go around the panel.
Thank you very much for allowing me. It's a great pleasure. It's an important topic indeed. A lot of FDI investors seek a very basic source of information in order to make a decision and build upon for the FDI investment and strategy. They source credit rating agencies, indices that are mainly quantitative, such as the International Country Risk Guide, public media, etc. However, when they are in the investment process, they usually face with a lot of challenges, and they struck with the huge difficulties, and they either downsize their investments or try to work their way out and start to implement an exit strategy. From my point of view, the major difficulties or elements for FDI investment to take into consideration are first, culture challenges. FDI investors should be very close and pay attention to the culture differences and culture challenges and the society needs. For instance, I'm sure you've heard of the term Saudiization, which is an objective, a government program to reduce the unemployment level that is really widespreading in the Saudi youth. This is a top priority for the government, for the private sector as well. It's not only for the welfare for Saudis, but also for the security reasons. So this is one of the elements that investors, international investors, foreign investment should pay attention to and put as an objective. It's not easy to overcome. You need to prop up the youth, the training, make sure that, wherever available sources can meet and can accommodate and co-op with the new paradigm, with the new job market requirement. It's not easy, but we're reaching there. So culture, society needs. Second element is the financing structure. Islamic finance is becoming prominent and so popular in Saudi. You have a lot of international investors facing challenges in securing finance in an Islamic or Sharia compliant way. So that's something that we should together work in promoting and overcoming. The third element is that most of the businesses in Saudi are run by families. 70% of the private sector size is run by families. So international investors should know the families, the partners whom they partner with really closely. So all in all, these elements you won't be able to find clearly or outspoken in credit rating reports or quantitative indices, etc. So these are the major important elements for FDI to take into consideration to reduce risk and have a successful investment in Saudi.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that introductory remark. Mr. Siragar, please.
Yes, thank you, Tim. First of all, this is a very coincidental or very timely for us because today is Indonesia's general election. So while you're asking about political risk, we are having general election exactly today. As a maturing democracy, Indonesia has transformed its, I think, political risk of general election from being a negative factor, let's say 2 or 3 elections ago, to non-issue, at least in the last election, to this year, a positive factor. As a proof is, of course, rupiah, our currency, year-to-date value has increased by 7%, and our stock index has increased by 15% year-to-date, approaching election. So that is a big change and transformation when now people consider general election, presidential election, even change of government, because just watching the quick count of the result of the election just now, looks like the opposition is leading quite significantly. So it's not about the who rules or who win or who lose. It's more about the confidence on the political system and the maturing and the sophistication of democracy itself. So I think that is a very clear signal how people should deal their business in democracy. Now, with that in mind, I would say that in such a system, it would be advisable for any business not to be perceived or misperceived as too closely related or associated with any political power. Just stick with the good governance, stick with transparency and accountability. I think that would be the best prescription. Thank you.
Excellent. Interesting perspective. Thank you very much.